Wash. Kashli khawus qa'atis in khatan kan hawani. Ya kunchish. Kunakhtu yake has to yuqatangi da. Ushqaqtu tlaat. Achawe yes aya. Chakudakaya was the cut way. Yes. Ku'ik away. Hadekuwaha. Ye aware was a good ya at that way. Kagatu tlaat. Has to yuqatangi. An akeh yuqatangi. What they do a sago at Kahu yuqatangi too. Yeah, well, to us ago has to yuqatangi aya. Gachtu tu. Ya shukwa aya. Gwashe itqwa ha in kananik. Atusa etu us ago. Ha ide awatu. Has to yuqatangi. Just had to us ago. Katu aku. Help the sugar away. The cut yagi yuqatangi. Yata kahu yuqatangi. Ya yanach litzin has to se. Ya kai kak inach when qanins is ya waqa chanting yakhati. Where qan qaqiq yuqatangi. Aqayatatsu Gwash ach it quaha aqa gwash ach tuasaku chashi awatu we yuqatangi yatatsu qa you khayaktu tlishik ye duwasaku at you khayaktu tlishik kay hu away yuqatan as dukani yan ye awaka ye away ayakhawe ye away you khayaktu tlishik ye duwasaku at ya tatsu ach tuasaku chakut qa awatu aqa just kagachtu aq. It aya has to yuqatangi adat aya yuqagachtu sha'at. Ya ye do a sago atlekach enough practice to practice away. Yep. It's just chaku gay aya hagi chini has to yuqatangi dance. Aqa what has to tuas sagu kunach adat aya into sequini. That's a way Hefasa away has to khikh aya as a kaushahit. Khne qakhwayinak. Ya when qanins ya kaushis ikhwa aya has to yuqatangi at a way qan nai dat away.
Yeah, well.
Aqa tuasku hasilku has to ideh ach the tan cha ade hanu. Cha de hanu. Tlingit yuqatangi hatu wasagu yuqaqa watasaku. Has to qidach aya kadain shtaqtu. Heshbasa we a gate wutzagiti. Heshtakat at watasaku, heshtakat at khasaku. Just chayegu genki a. Khasaku ye awa. Achawe has to khanch. Yan khakich. Ya ha atuskuhu. Ya has the way kunach. Has the khusi khe wutin. Machaku kaw. Takhasa ye ke awa hatu wasakutu. Had the chankiyan. Has a gursaku to ha yuqatangi. Achawe kadain mushiji gachtu the name you have. Cheese.
Okay,
Okay. Adasage, je crois.
Tiakwe, you etan, you watan, where Kushitigua at that, where year to the hot soup, Shikasi at Kushitigua at where Kuik that, Kananau that, Hashishka Hastat, Yanachdak Hasua at, where Kudu Iki Aweko Aya, Yanach Ye Hasua at, Ha Da De Hasua, Ha Da Hasua at, where has out it has to take out it quest kusi art over dark apart away hard dark has not over has out it quest atu has to yanach has to yanach has to yadach cow dia has to what clean akawe has to tuwu or hook kayu ʼatángi teen awe ha nanei dot ha achaya kushitigwa adaya question han too ishendeni yi datu wati ye nakbuku de da to ye sitini nakbuku de ye tu ye or da tasnak Itwasiku ha. Ewer to it were quick that Achaya Heshchakugei Hayukatandi Ha Kunugu Heshchakugei Hakusti Takuna Hadat Adat you has to a tank.
Okay.
Was het ʼatángi ʼjichwanegue Eiktehin Tlingit. Haa Tuwunáagu Yís
Okay.
Sumik Awatu Krum 500 Kejin Jim Katplay Dushu if Tikish Ada. Just you have to do the chic.
Oh. On panin si tuas gu Johan Su K-E-E-K yeah, well, gosh, geez, Kecha. But Gook.
คนที่
Yeah, Gook. Jadasai to Yeti. Yanaka. Oh, Aqua, where Gati Sakuwood, just where Kuik that Ha Punik Kanai, you here, Tank, has to eat day you here, Tank, Head Ha Hun Yan Ha, Dak Yan, Head Guna Tish, has to eat you here, Tank. Well, but truth can't begin, but outside.
gone
You
you
yani gudi aware. Het was out here kun tish. Yeah.
Takes a city.
Oh.
It's like Haa Tuwunáagu Yís.
Oh, but where how eat Kausiwu where email that where kind of classmate the web Audi2 where you tank.
wakati tuwas kusuma kaut.
Oh, okay, sumak out to your keha. Hook.
And that I on a page. Ye day Hakwatan Kayu Hatangi, Inia Kena good kayak the tea. Kakatin. In one work of the hard I do kakai a cut a hesh hast. A buck echin Chayu Kawahai ha do in stage.
Excuse me, what page is that?
When was this?
Thanks.
Yeah, where you take Kayu Hatangi. Chayu Kawahai you Hatang do in stage.
Oh, wow.
Plus it day just a dot you took what time.
Your keha, your dusty ataya.
Practice the way. Doesn't you can get
Just Uskaya do you kunach Sitsim city, yeah. Kayuch ʼatángi, dot yuch ʼatángi, yeah. You say a saw meta oratory.
How you can be that you can.
Kunach yake we at yahayi yachyati do you ʼatángi dach kechatin we ka awa kech we ka awa kech agu kecha hechas ayah wasa aduwaka Mount City.
Yayat.
Yayat. Yayat Haa Tuwunáagu Just Haa Tuwunáagu Adat we Yahayi we Haa Tuwunáagu Yayat Kencha team our Kench.
Okay.
Chai we hot we do inchnas teach just violent city enjoy it could be where hot aya una aku Kedane would do a nay Kedane would do a nay cake or K. This part sounded
Okay.
Haa Tuwunáagu Hasao Sine He Haa Tuwunáagu would do Sine He where shout in a catch where hot ani. Where has cooked has of who where has to hit it where on hit idach has to hit it yachawat. Yeah, where what Achishkos Shkutni Gidat Tatsin.
Chasachanten has a kech. Hayuk ʼatángi tin suachawe. Yat na screen ki has to in kachanit. Kech atin at nai Gwash we ka aya ge awa ka Haa Tuwunáagu hayuk ʼatángi aya chasaku jai. Kech aya we ka hade awa chut. Chasachan in chayek again klatin tin ya. Wa Haa Tuwunáagu yet that's a konach yek do inchnas teach. Konach yek Gunil chisha inchisati, gunil chisha inchisati. Ye a work konach yek yuchtangi. Kayet it's aka kechen. Yek a work konach aka kechen. Yukawaha yechat do inchnas teach. Konach yek
Haa Kuakani Kuwut Kuakan. It's recording of what? Oh.
Yeah, when ya kana do.
Oh, a true well. Haa Kuakani Achin Kawan Achin Kawanik wet K what's to do something K it's was a cool play pie and on you could I see that for a second? Sorry. Oops. Kate Cook, ich Ayakayan, where ich the Gish do you ʼatángi that what Hesuske Ayach up.
This is the gaff hook in the mouth. Atsu adati was kela had kwani dat aku was sukaha di yachati ayachti way hard do in this kitchen.
Wuhan Su to a hang. That's Wuhan.
Get the Haa Tuwunáagu Yís. Play cock enough. Hit to sugar at take has the tea. Yeah. But your way, play cock enough way subtleties. I connect a Tuwunáagu Yís. Yeah. Play cock enough with him or her. At take has the tea. They became one. Yeah. Take shuku ayako akonach way. Get kayu ʼatángi atunachas yeju has ye osene yata klukne kahoyinak. Yeah. Konach awa. Yeah, shukwa yu ʼatángi way kukuye.
Dag nach our play has city.
Yeah, what? Chakuta again? I do so much eat. Eat kuaha.
You can't but look nachali we ka chichago dag you ʼatángi awa 1899. But ich waji we hicht yaye ki has tien hicht yaye tlach kunnach has stu kau de hicht ach shiko has kicksadi akwa ja you that do a hit stu to shikhish adat achaya yes claim Herman Davis where Yís stop do yok ye woti hisko has hichek kik awa ye do a sal ye that where kleinach sa awa do jit would do with tea Shaya de Haini at has uwajak where Hilchekach. Yeah, that's I where speaker of Ka'awa Kwainak Keokne has uwaji where Stukau the dash where Stukau the dash where Shukha speaker Akwa do it you Hewatan where Tlingit Yahweh Yahweh where Daknach speaker Akwa Yesu Yehwaji where Shukwa speaker KU Getankawa.
They had no question Shukwa Aya Kapwan.
Heshwasaku.
Oh, Wuhan
Kagwantan Hasati.
Okay, head was
Okay. So you the hand 100 with the two of cook Achjiu Yayaki.
1899 Dakaya Shukwa Watu.
Oh, Kagwantan, Yakeha. Yay that were, yeah, do we you Kakwatan, do it now?
I decided was to go out to Dutch.
Costume, Kachu, Yatuti. Yeah, Kagwantan,
Shikona.
Dakasa.
Whoever wants to.
Like Dakasa.
I can't make it You.
A Dutch.
Wait na be achni ide kwatan. Haya ide tak ade hatu kalsekeriye. Adati ide kwatan. Tlachwasa hatu kalsekeriye. Sekat yede hatu sidu aku an kaku. Ade gachtu ikni. Atua hatu sitsiniye. Ayahuti kar. The Kagwantan hasiti. The hasid has adi. Just the cut the guggy way. Yay. Use. Guggy yo to sine. Do Rashi.
Cheese.
Yet aku an kaku. Pasi wakshi yo to sine. Hatu lakay awasa. Yet aku hat kudu ik. Katwasa wuti. Hatu sitsin. Asika yede an yet kri hasiti yet. Gak ye to sine. Kahas su. Ade an yet kri hasiti yet. Tlak Tlingit ani tukwani sa. Hayach gugati kahas ade hatu sitsiniye. Yudana ade wunawuye. Ade yakugeye. Yashit kak ade kutbu hihiye. Yuchichi dat. Chichi hit yid kudu ikri. Ajaya katsa akanaye. Aduti. Chichi hit zedi. Gati. Ade hatu yati ye. Sekat Tlingit ani kunugu kinak yewuti. Yukunuk yushika yufipach adi an kawu hat kuik anyet.
What's way example?
Cheese.
Achis kohas Kagwantan.
Oh, well.
Achis kowatke. Yanyede. Tachwasa. Achlis kwasiat yanye dixiti ha. We taku an kako. Achaya gunus chish ye waka ha tsu. Eswasa uti ha hun kiyan. We hicht. Kik yeu tu tine. Ye aya tu iti dat. Chakut ye deshkasnik awe. Hastushkasnike. We hicht dat. We ade shikausi hikiye. Achaya heswasa uti. We hicht has ayahen. Achaya gunaf chish. Ye yahwaka. Achlis kohas kagantan. Achlis kohat wat ki yanye de. Hastu da tutua nak. Ha hun iyan. Hastu kikyo du tine. Ha chlis kohas ade. Achaya iwakshi ayo. We hichte sach. We guakan sach. Achaya iwakshi kaki is yo tu sene dat. Achlis kohas. Tia goe. Achlis kohas. Yuch ewatan. Kinach aya ye at ute. Ja, tu je ti gaat zo. Gunnar tish oe. Rewriting history, aya.
Tapu kawu. Yís kayachawe. Yacha. Ewe watua ach telchishugu awe hachu ʼatángi. Ya echasagu wasa duwasagu atako ya ayanach awe we kase ya hayu ʼatángi ja adyach yati hayu ʼatángi adyach yati awe yata kanach etinech yati awe aka awe ya hastu in aya kiyaniki dat ayanach sawe yuch ʼatángi tin yata kanach yake hastu yuch ʼatángi ach ayu teltsu akina ye at ute ach ayu teltsu akina ye at ute ya kanach awe yituwasaku konate kanayi hastu yade awe yuch ʼatángi Jakunach kinde aya haskar tutlishat hayuch ʼatángi tin. Kunach hatuwasagu tel idat, tel inach sati idat. Kwal ke ha yi awe kunach yake. Ye awe tas chayegu genki idat. Ha yi. Kunach awe hastidat awe stakate yuch ʻatángi akonate kanai. Achawe ye awe ya katu au shatai hayuch ʻatángi tin ya itek tin aya yuch ʻa'a naqa yuch ʻatángi ayanach letzin adeyanach letzin ye awe ach in hasakawani gachlil ko has we qachu yuch ʻatángi da.
Okay, Wekich, Kunoch, work A, where Silver Jim Jacobs to GET. If Haa Tuwunáagu up to Kat say work up. Do Duffnach Sadi. Do you high or do GET or where which
Okay. Your what has to you hit me. We hit glade hit. Okay.
which do ish Achina Kawanik web which that
Okay.
couldn't feel cawish with me. A whole but Aunt Quanu if web day you cook with top cook with knee ush achaya zoop
At a way Kelly in Watan. Hoot. Okay, so again. That's how you turn the tiny dad, yeah. Which I'll go call you ʼatángi dad.
the chan
1899 Dacha Koa. Shitahini at Chishugu away, you that you ʼatángi. Shikuzi.
where Shukat we're recording.
Wax cylinder 10. Hechwa ach. Hechwa gugusa.
Michael Kraus, Albert F.
Oh, yeah.
Harriman expedition.
Okay. That's the you get where Alaska Native Language Archive. Down her collection, but too.
Question. See what's the heritage.
That's the you again. Okay. After us go ach. Do you ʼatángi ayah ach shtu ka? Question. Recording ayah ach. Okay.
Stu Pa.
But
yeah.
Jeez.
We're longer version of web. Stu Pa.
Okay.
Sub Tu Pa. Sub Tu Pa.
Okay.
What's your recording?
I think. Okay. Echwaji. One. What's a gakagachtushi yata? Kashiat Quran. Shakshani ish. Do yejni away dakha. I do something to us to go over to Quran. Okay.
We shoot on that speaker, picture.
Dakha.
Yeah.
Like Quran.
Tlahwasa Haa Tuwunáagu Yís Hade Yakutuik Yuha Kuyan Astuika Anakut Kesbutu to Chustikata Anqueni to Asim, Ushpanaye, Ushpanad Yade Sinach City. Ajayu Uhan Suha Tuwu Ayahuti, Suyadlet Ka and Kaku, Ha'id Udishi, Chasbekat at Hajiyis, Yesau Sene, Atuwadach Kua, Hatuwuz Itzin, Chasbekat Yede Kusti, Yeutu Sene, Place Hatuwa Ushkuwan, Hawasaka wa Hagita, Ayahat Kudubi, Hatuwa Zigu, Ajaya Chasdekat at Adat Yautuwanak, Ushkeyi at Tuwu Kaki, Tes Hatuwa Shgu, Hat Kudubi each, Kua Ya Hat Atki Kat Kudubi each. Hatuwu Sitzin, Hayayidat Tlachwasa, Hatuwasiku, Yahasis Kohas Itich, Yautu Payich, Achayach Hasis Kohas Adi, Hastuwakshi, Kate Yeutu Sene, Achaya Hatuwu Sitzin, Hatuwu Tlachwasa, Buke, Ya Ankaku Yantin, Hatuwu.
Haa Tuwunáagu Yís.
Ajaya Chaltakat at Adat Yautuwanak.
Yaka. Ja, jeder die Dach, aber es Yautu Sene.
Yawa. Kwashketa ya atune ya
Tuwunáagu Yís.
such the cut ha unquay to asi ushpone de inach city.
Gosh, hast du where Aku Khan has was a coup has was a coup where on play with Tina Jabut Yede Jabut at Aya has was a coup Help Nehut Su as I was cook.
Unquay to asi ina was witayach. Just the cut ye de costi ye to see. I should what to akut. Akut.
Haa Tuwunáagu Yís Atuwada. But Hapune Kanai Astu Ide Khakahi Tan Khakahi Sa'ad Yi Tuwada
Haa Tuwunáagu Yís.
Achaway has to tuwasakuha eat the sheep. Okay. Yeah.
Excited.
That's the iqa and the good. If I yaqaqu yam. Yaqaqu.
Yes. Yes. Ja, du has will do has just cut ye asatha has to shut yan has to in would do hell.
Dr. Saga. Dushu when it's kanach. His asa ha'inach sati way. Kashuk tatayi tuhan.
All right. Okay. I hope no one listens to the recording.
We can't give specific references. Tagut pa ina kawan.
Somebody.
Sounds like it's break time, huh?
Yeah.
That's the deity.
Yucky. Thank you. Same to you. We were just talking about your mom beforehand. I'm guessing. I'm a good guesser. Well, thank you. Noun to verb. I love hearing the sound of the, I love hearing the cadence of it.
You okay?
That helps just to listen.
Every once in a while, I can recognize a word, and when it's tracking on a page,
Right.
I can see exactly where everybody's going.
Then
And
we're
I'm reading the notes while I can't understand what else is going on.
okay. Yeah, we're talking about those things. So it's fun.
There's lots to where I'm kind of understanding what's being talked about, but not quite, because it's hard to respond. It helps to have, the speech right there
Right.
to kind of keep me on track when I can't understand certain things, but it's still, it's good, but it's challenging.
There's a lot I can understand, but then taking that and then refining and cleaning it apart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And that's the challenge, is to be able to be, I think it does take a long time to go from drill, and then preparing things and presenting them to like these sort of in the moment types of things. So I think if we do more of that, then you've done it before, right? And that's the key. That's what I found with immersions was there were times when they would just say, okay, you guys get up there and make speeches, and they would make us do it in front of like a panel of fluent speakers, So, but the nice thing about it was you could tell they wanted you to succeed, because there were times when they would finish your sentences for you.
Now, was when Ishmael stood up, was he
Was that an extemporaneous speech? What was he doing there?
Well, so I asked, it's a sort of a delicate thing because you get in trouble for doing some stuff like this. But I did ask that they consider either talking about the speeches or composing, imagining they were there and giving a response. But we're really trying to emphasize that we're pretending, we're practicing.
Okay.
We're kids.
Yeah, what Mark says. My brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just how they translated it.
Well, yeah, because you've got Yakaku, which means Yakawu is like
Yeah,
my partner.
yeah.
And they translate that as my opposites. So, but I do think it's something like, it's like those people in my clan, right? But, and maybe it means like when you're referring to, you're talking to your opposites about your fellow clan members, maybe it's something you use for that. Or maybe like Khun Kiyan could be people in my moiety, Tak Kiyan would be people in my clan. Well, I'll ask some speakers about it.
I like this speech a lot.
That's before we break tonight. Could I have a few minutes to ask if anybody can participate in the ask if anybody can participate in the
Whoa, okay.
There we go.
Kaya sa tini.
Could be a rough night here. We'll see.
Huh.
Okay.
Right, one. I'll never forget when I first started doing this distance thing with the phone, the computer, the microphones, and we got stuck in this crazy loop. And Chibu started laughing. It was kind of booming laugh, and it was just echoing. And it was kind of scary for a second.
It sort of sounded like the sea lion people were coming through the microphone here.
So sometimes if somebody's watching the class, there's a delay. But then if we sign in, then maybe they don't quite. I don't know. There is one group on my Tuesday, Thursday class where they get lots of echo. But I think it's because they're going to their computer, and then their computer is sending a signal to the TV through a wireless connection. So then there's some weird delay there between. It's supposed to be figuring out real time. So if you're talking, it's muting the sound that's coming in. And then if you're not talking, it's allowing the sound.
I remember one time it was happening and that same Shaw was like, it's in space.
Yeah. And one time I had that screen up there and I shared that screen. And it just went boom to infinity. To infinity.
So if I could just have a couple minutes to talk about the room, and to have the photos there, we need to have people, somebody would need to be there. Jill, Christine, did you make these?
Each did.
Who's that?
Jasmine?
Oh, They're wonderful.
And the speech from Fairbanks. Awesome Fairbanks.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Right. Get the notes.
How are you saying, like, someone who responds or saying, like, yay, oh, wait?
That was in the. Yeah. That. What did it say?
Is that?
Yuch ayak dutleshik. Break it down.
Just sheep or sheep?
Chic. That's what I got. We're taking a little break now, but we had talked about yuch ayak dutleshik, which is when somebody's speaking in public, and that's when somebody's shouting out a response. And we did talk in here that you should really be doing that to your opposites. And so sometimes it gets a little bit challenging these days because there might only be one or two speakers. And so if somebody's speaking, then it has happened where sometimes, you know, and I don't know what we need to do, like we need maybe, but you gotta be cautious because you're not supposed to tell your opposites what to do. It's just like a little hint or something. There should be, you know, and we've got, but I think the ultimate key is just to make more speakers so that people know. And then it's usually, if you look, it's often the same people. So a lot of times it was the clan, the house leaders who were doing that, who were calling back. And especially there's often a series of speeches for different occasions. And so they might reference somebody's speech and then they would yell back at that person. So one of the things in Tlingit is that to practice that act as well, because you might be the only person or one of the few who can speak the language. And so to be able to shout out and or to anticipate that, because if you were giving a speech in English and somebody shouted at you, you would probably like pause and not know what to do. But
Yes.
right, that's how it is. But in different, you know, if you're at, there's different churches where you yell out to each other, and that's sort of more what it's like, is where you're elevating that speech moment. And when you witness these things or you hear them on tapes, that's exactly what's going on, is they're elevating that speech. And so we'll take a look at this word for a second and we can get the diagnosis on it. There might be a similar Kayashi is to sing about close relatives on the opposite side. Vasa?
Renee, I'm getting that audio loop here or whatever it is. I'm getting everything at least twice, I think. So I'm not. Renee, I'm getting that audio loop here. I'm getting everything.
Gee, well, you should respond to yourself. Yeah, oh wait. It's the perfect call and response. Just, I don't know, I guess it would be you but it would probably be like extreme taboo to just make a recording and then yell at yourself. So yeah, you might try signing off and signing back in and see if that helps. We might be having some weird digital things going on. Or if you want to just listen tonight, or whatever works for you. So yeah, you might try signing off or signing back in and see if that helps. Whatever works for you.
Masa Duasak, I give up.
Yeah, Kwashit.
Kick Kwashit.
Okay, Kwashit. Okay.
I'm gonna give up.
Okay.
I think it's probably got to be in the future mode. Although you could say I did, but if you say I'm quitting, I think that's how you'd say it, because it's probably one of those event verbs where like it's either happened or it hasn't.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can be in the process.
No.
No present participle, huh?
Yeah, I don't think there's a present tense for that one. It's just I'm gonna, or I did it, or I didn't. Keshkek the sheet. I think that's how. Keshkek get this. No, I'll look it up. Hold on.
Anyways, Tsuye Kwasatin. I'll try for next week. What it's
So you've got chakwadenak. Chakwadenak. So that's to like drop it. So that's one way, like I'm gonna quit. Kick the sheet. And that's the other way of it's the sliding. Even though there are two words.
That's why George Taylor almost always says, 5K is sheet, Jip 1.
And you never quit. Yeah. I quit. So that's the past tense version. And then you will not quit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'll take a closer look at that. My guess though is that the root is she, which is to sing. When you're looking up stuff like
also,
sorry, good.
Also, I haven't had a Kaya Sheik, and I forget what it was. Ukaya Sheik. I forget what it was. Ukaya Sheik, but I just reminded. I'll try to look it up again.
Yeah, so that one is also probably also the Kaya Shi. So Ukaya Sheik would probably be to start singing, perhaps.
It didn't relate to a singing thing, though.
Oh, really?
It's funny.
Huh, wow. Okay. Okay. Check it out. So the other thing, another resource that you guys can check out is, whoa. Sorry, I did this screen share to infinity thing again. Is this document, which is the STEM list by Jeff Lear. So if you're looking at something and you're trying to figure out how you might look it up and you're not finding it anywhere, there's one word we're going to encounter here, which I'm pretty sure is a type of referring to mud, just based on the translation. But and some of these words are hard to find. So there's a lot of words that you might find in here. And it's got nouns and it's got all parts of speech in it, but all the verbs would be listed by root. So we would go down to SH, and I think Zeosh is the one who scanned these. And then it's really nice because you've got SHA, SHE, SHI, which is where we'd take a look. And then if we were to zoom in, and there's a lot of words in here. The tone is marked differently. I don't fully understand it, and so that's something to sort of look at and compare to other. I think this downward mark means it's long and low.
Yeah.
And so you can take a look at that and how it was. This is 1970.
That's why the inland folks who a lot of respect, but that's why a lot of them will they even say now. Chish.
Right.
Achoni.
Right.
Choni.
Choni.
Choni, yeah. Because Jeff Lear has this thing where he doesn't want to write two vowels to make a long vowel, so he just does the backwards accent.
His rationalization for it in the Elizabeth Nyman book doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're saying, a lot of times these goes in newspapers and stuff like that, and it should be easily writable if you don't have access to the accents or the underlines. It's like, no, that doesn't work with those accents.
He's trying to claim by using those accents you retain more of the length or more of the tone and vowel length, but you lose both tone and vowel length instead of just tone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not silly. He's a mad genius, but that thing's pretty silly.
Wow. Singing him back to life. So this is the second document. This is just called Lear Tlingit verbs. This one, it does tend to have a little bit more of the writing system that we're used to, although he is marked. You're not going to find in other places, including some of the verbs for, pooping, peeing, sex, those types of things. You'll find those verbs in here, but also you're going to find lots and lots of additional entries that maybe there aren't in some of the other dictionaries and other documents that we have. So, yeah, I mean, working in the 70s at the time when there's tons of speakers and really trying to get to capture all these different aspects of the language. So yeah, I'll keep looking, see if I can find a good explanation for those two that we were just talking about. For now, we'll
Okay. Yakati.
162.
Hosting what you ayak fish the sheep. How?
Kusatin Duya Haye, we're recording Ujish ʼatángi. When Hain Duka Awaki. Yahweh and the Cajun, Achik, Edo Sagu, Achik, Nakishan. Howe and the Cajun, Duhantu Kuhuka, Yana Juan, Hanana, Ich Kausia Siat Klein, Askananoa, Duhuni Yede. Yewa yakosaka yidat hat kiyetini shakat aksanihas afathas Yewa yakosaka shayi shisaqiya hiya akawashutiyah yat train khayisani hin kwek Ya hadat nakiku awa. Yidat yin khwasak. Hastu hidit suasi in khwasak. Khak hit. Yisani hidi. Tu yisani hidi. Kutis hit. Tu yisani hidi. Kushta hit. Tu yisani hidi. Wanda hit. Yewe yachsaka, gunach chish, hati kaudek iti ach ishenden haune yewe, hatudach kogach yisaha, och kunach aya, ha yi kawasusin, yidat kar, yikasaku tunahawa, yadach, yagach tu dakun, Yewe, Gunach Chish, Yui Yosaka, Kok Te Ane Juan Yuhan, Yewe, Yende Tukach Tu Saat, Yiji Yis, Yewe, Yi Chachwatan, Yidakar, Hakani Yana Huch Eyati, Kayisani Has, Kayisani has tu ahu hakan kiyan you to side uhanj ataidat hastu jide ayach kukati hasoe hastu fishko has adene kutiye away sekuchsene asvechoe gunaf chish.
$1971 away Kuyayati Kutia chain Kutia has Usahan Kuch ish away Yeshnach Sati Hach Adi Ish has sit prede Peg Yewuti Akna has to Ewatan Peg de has our ik Chish Haji Kaudik Iti of Ishandane Hawuneli Ye away Yayawaka. Adak Watan away 1971. At Yanda Kini at Adeo Zigit. Slash Ushkewe. Kleg 100 ka Jinkat ka Kleg Haswuna. Kejiminach Keg Dach Haswuna. Aku Tuyuk ʼatángi dad. So Kerjatukwe bomb US Navy Dach. Haa Tuwunáagu USS Saginaw. Uduasak. Achowe Saginaw Bay Uduasak. 1869 away.
Skanach, do a song. Skanach. Johan too. Nach sa away. Johan. Talk with you, Skanach a away for a Kawanik Shan, Kapwan Ish, George Davis.
Kunach Litzi away. On Has Shadzanu. Way 1971. Ruch Ish Shtuka Diti. Hat Hasbuadi. Ach away Yesna has to Hidi Auditon. Has to at Auditon. Kusachantin. Tuyuk ʼatángi kunach Ukecha.
Kina at Wekutia, the Tlingit big. Kina at.
Okay. Get that too way. Nach. Jeff there to kuhu aya khote hesha ina kawanik dasawe what mud wait at your way translation to nach.
Yeah. No. Look at David Cashman's, what was his word for that?
Hotu ea wakaka.
Sorry, may you look at that for a second?
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, final exam. Yeah, naka.
Tlingit spelling bees.
That's another one.
Yeah, quick soup. Echasuk wanach sawi apol. Has the in kakwawus ya kakwan ish pa. Kekne pa. Shakshani. Wanach sawi. Yeah. Get the nach isaku with suffix away nach dach day. Okay, our kawasusen. Yatatsu. Hayakawasusen. Nach. Nach.
Kanach, yeah, Achtun the Tani took away Achtu Ayahai Aya Watersetin, Kayata Ayahwach, Ayata Hatu. Asagu Tunach away, Yidach at Gachtu the Hun. Gachtu the Hun.
Yetach. Gachtu the Hun.
Gachtu the Hun.
You can complain away. To do your highway internet. To web.
Yeah, what video? What? Yata
Where see Alaska Heritage, the Mio.
Into a school. It was a good achi. That's the website the day. Kaidak. Yeah. Gadak was a good in Kahuni gets a down. Yeah. Gold Belt Heritage Foundation has a Yawatla Don. Yeah, Western Kwanich Idach. Yeah, Kutia as Shak was Nook. Yeah, Sandy Beach Akach.
Oh, it's his Han Yahweh.
Yeah, Cajun Jinkat. Karhus Aya Yekayati. Yís attested to us. Aka Yeshkashnik Adat Ayakachtu. Haskak Gwashahid. Has the Ani Awa Yat like Kach Kua has the Hitki Yakam the Ganj. Aka Tehuj away has the Ani Ya Telkatunik has the Ani Dat Ya Aku Kwan. Ja, dazu Schkun du Tigech hast du eine Nahu Akach. Ja, dazu Kotia away gas no elementary. Ye away yik Kotia. At your way hast du ʼatángi Atina Hayati Konach away. Ja, Kaushets Ikwat. At your way. What he did the way has to unique Yesu. Ye away Keshadat Katuniki away. Aka what Tlingit away has. At your way, yeah, Ausagu at Kakatu Aushanigu at Adat Yukakaktusha art. Haa Tuwunáagu Yís the kat hashagun. Uhan ka gleit khatsu. Utusaku wasa atune. Ajoy Haa Tuwunáagu tsu. Ya shkun tunach hayetki. Hasakuch saku tsu. Ya Kheka away one qanins. Ushkep Dutsiki Uhan Ka we Yís Ku Atusu Ak Hasutlagazi. You did Haa Tuwunáagu Yahawe Uhan one Qanins Akakwash Hasakach Saku Tsutlet Khaj Wanaksaya Yatik Aya Hakusti Yakusti Aya Joya Hakenache Uti Akwa Weshkashniki Ayaka has to ʼatángi Utisaku Yandayan to Glock that a ʼatángi Tinha Kosti ya we itika ade khwakhukh tliyatke astu yejine itika go just curriculum dot ej to ni at was school away we itika ka akhin hasa kauni hago at khahaji yeshach khatati ha ya ke ka astu ina ya khwa ya tu ya ketsu ya Lletziat qa we ich ki qa ndakh we qa khat se wa khak da qa sa qa hel cherokee aqa de khant has de khant ai ha idea awashi as to tu outlet shi in kawani isako aya wa pa waqini de ye do sagubat ke we de qach ha idakh kam de kid ha ani dakh aqa ewe hasichi wutsuya kallish ke yish kalniki eqa atqa wan qanins we tukneyi Raja we khletsi aya tlakhat yiki khanakh aya tahas ana ach kwal we tukne ulatish kwal tu idiana wa elhutusaku helhatu uchlichish wasa khletsi Kakhasa ishandain has published. Aqua we Washtan Kwan ki has to toa oshko we took a near achi. Aina kawani. But Shugo Uhan Ach Sanu we hicht. Du khuzigt tshugo hat okene itel khach akhusan heltu toashku tukene o ya asyik the way o khayut eqa de waqini kawada te haina kawani qa has shi aya awashi ya da adakh She aya ya naqatu etu klatsinha ya itх away ya nail has wa'at qahaina kawani watu wadlaq we dana ya washtan khwani has de jidakh ya kotia dakh kotia ya yewe has to tuasapu ya tashkalnik tsu ya kotia ki adat ya ha Juno Museum tsu qanakh yiki ya waditku wasa atune kwal aqa wush Kartusku, Takatuhan, Aduksa, Akku, Akwan, Gatakwan, Yewe in the time.
Well, Akwan, Tinedi, Wishki time. Yai that where help us to in. Jude doing where just a cut who Guash has to in GNA Atsu talk upon Yanedi Kanahari Ishkitan Yesu atas aya hen jakupan agus kukletan to kukletan es kukletan Yís sati kukletan where hit ji where Hasakawa Chuck has to at high cook. Achaya cook time, yeah, do a sound. What take it he where hit Kibnakadi Hatsu Akupon. Have us doing that. Yesu where Shadinak Ian Akwan Chakupan where Shadinak Ian Yahweh Shakanasta Clinedy Shakanasta Yidu Sag Hatsu Wishkitan yeah George Jim Dusai yeah I'd say look up. Take a man. Like Putsa or Katsu where Yanyedi Kut Kuakan Kut Shai yeah Dusa where Yanyedi Kuik or Kutua Eek K has ik has to Yís Shade Honey Kud Kuakan Atu Ishkitan Anya Fahash Yedosa Sam Johnston has to Shade Honey when Sam Johnson Kud Kuakan has to Kunik Kanai Han Kagit has our saw has to Shadi Honey Shadi Nakriyan where Wushkitan Kinede just has to spokesman is Aya Shadi Nakriyan well has to connect Kanai has arch has to you ʼatángi achaya shade nakhiyan yachaya where to has to connect kanai has to shade nakhiyan has arch has chakawa yekt has to you ʼatángi yeah where
which Katuha do you ʼatángi itchawa Kashka Turko up on the team a data yaichi I do something towards go hour 2
nominate
Keith
Take Hasiati already already there were take yeah Hasiati Tagua already Tagua Atas who our talk already yes I saw 166.
Okay, you want it? Away ye at kudayaj. Away ye at kudayaj. Yayidat away ye hayati. Kunna on kwani. Ya ashwede. On gung chuchude saudisa. Ya khanakat.
Chish.
At away ye Hatawuk kwati uhansa.
Hawasa.
Ya khanakat. Peg ajiyes.
Chish.
Yijin gachtula'at.
Chish.
Yijin gachtula'ta. Ashtakat yig away. Hach ku aknuj. Ich hach uhin. Hintin. Uchchu ayachsa dayit tutinuj ich. Ket hach away wunatlach.
Hawasa.
Yeyan kaldiyaye. Yayidet ha ya ashkwede ane. Kakha ye havune. Yayidet. Atlek wuchchu chaye havdeti. Yakhana kat. Kleshdak sakshewe wuchchu yugachdada. Yakhana chawe yeshatin. Ade wuchchu yashunda chichyet. Hakusti yakhana kat. Kleshdak nach sakshe. Yeyande kagachtaya. Uch is chan atlekte. Achiskiwe. Uchchu yakagachtada hakusti ye. Ya Southeast Alaska kak ye hati ye.
Chish.
Kak ye hati ye. Tlingit ani tequani. Yak wush kanach ye yaudaha ye. Shish yech ayachaka. Chetsu. Ya achsani hastu daluch achatangi. Ya khanakat. Ye yak odge yidat. Ach yu atangi. Shish.
Chish. Tlingit Tlingit which had
Yeah, what?
Alchiyah you do yourself. Right. Where do you ʼatángi where him ich that Alchiyah.
Yeah, what? Kanach yu ʼatángi.
Okay.
Ya khanacha we yeshatin. Ade wuchchu yashanda chifye.
Kanach ke akusti yakhana kat. Chukh yashinde. Ade wuchchu yashinde. Tingu sawe ade.
Etsu, Tlingitani to Kwani.
Tlingitani Tuqani.
Takwani.
Yohansu. Tlingitani Tuqani.
Okay,
Has two G's. Has two eat shit.
yeah, that's it. Take ach askiwe. Get that giveaway. Askiwe. Ya tlell has to tua ashka. The cut at hosaku. Tlek tlell has to tua ashka acho.
Yeah, where?
Aski we kwash.
Yeah, where?
Ya the aya.
Yeah, where?
Ya just has to tua saku ya. Katu outlet aye. Ya tertsu. Tlagats. Ya the cut at hosaku. Ya acho way one paninsi. Aski we. Gwa giwe. Ya tertsu has ya waka.
Shkau do it like dash. Where Yís. Afu Yís. Thank you, Han.
Ya wa. Chish
Toch kudach yakuk khasha tinch. Yakuk.
Ya wa.
Yeah.
Ash queefy. What's a go? Ash queefy.
But fruits are were just already. Well, kuna dark a kawani where are they sick the where on goon to Tugune D. Gave to a sock, Dr. A.D. Tugune D. Where on Katlakudach saw a web where sit to sit on sit to nach hasuti hash to sit tagune di to sagun yewa shada dushkatnike as for a cost quite
Ja, hast du Kuchisani je nach Sati an Gundach a Krichte has Mushagans.
Oh,
Was a good at that.
yeah, Dukani Yanaweb. Which Kaduha? Dukani web.
Yeah, what?
Actually, Chuchude is out the sa.
Yeah, Kanach ye KO has to ye Jenny. It Tlingit to Pony dat Hanach Sati. Yeah. Ye start ye Jubine, Kirchne, Tom Thornton, Zeus, Kawut Buwakan, De Laguna, Emmons.
Just kidding.
Yeah, Kanach Achtuasagu, we're beginning Tlingit, way, Yejichane, way, lists, Gudach Sawich, the Katanach Sati. Teshach to Ashku, just Kun Kachtaniki, Jach to Asagu, yeah. Get the Ayawu to Saku, Chatakriach away, wait, Chatakriach away, wait. Yidat Koatsu. Ha, ye Kashi, are ye aware of Koat, away to sugar away?
Yeah, high
Yata Tsu got to two Kas at Kia were caught Kanaki, Kakiach away, Chakut Ateshats, I was go.
Yeah, where?
Yidat Koatsu, yeah, away. Yeah, away too. Which is a do so way had the Chankian. I jaway test Yana Cajun. Ayi, like, Yehoji, what Tlingit Costi, or what? Yeah, one means Asaus has to Chitach Aya, what to Saku, a Kak, a Gi, a Kak Costi, Ahayi. Yes, it was a good use the cut. Tlingit Koa. Yeah. Which is a cut at the Ayis away. Kash Kui de Koa. Kakakosh he Techasaku. Dachsa. Ikea.
Just where Kuik Donna Darkas. Donna Dark do a tea. Where Donna Klein Donna Klein would do a joke where has to Uhaini Hesh Chakugeli where you tank I Kusui Donna. Two where you tank Adat at Heshkiao Dene.
Not Kla the Hook. A data yachwa to tuck away if they has Wukuk down at Tin Cajun house down 1970 Silkoash Artling down. Yeah, has a Jack Hatchaway. It was a go. Yeah. The cut at that. Tani Dana Jack.
Atsu Anya Kosani Chicago Dafoe had out to take Usun. It's Teshkoch what you took ʼatángi Adat at.
Kalli Tonga Ushko at Yakati a Konate Kanai Wakshi. Hajit Guhi. Do I say? I do sa Adati.
Katu should seem to ʼatángi.
I do say to us go out. We're connected.
Just here to us to do. Yes, is it to
Achtuasagu Kaki too.
To Akwasu
Achtuasagu E2.
Kusu cook. I
Dafasa.
don't know why I keep on thinking of
Oh, the
dictionary.
cook again?
Oh, I think about keeping thinking about that.
Yacheti.
Declassifier. Sorry for breaking.
Dituasagu we cook our two. Dituasagu out the two. Actually, what is object? Ayahaji. Head object.
Oh, okay.
Achtuasagu eat the two. Chadasa eat the two.
ESPN.
I just think of numbers when I think of World War II, but I
Yeah.
just have to adjust my thinking.
Yeah, that's it. Haa Tuwunáagu Yís. Peg. Yeah. Yeah, which
Kechne Achi ʼatángi.
Okay.
42.
Ha, 52.
So you probably say Ia too, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a Haa Tuwunáagu Yís. Yeah. Subordinate clause.
I want you feeling.
Hechtis.
Whoa. I have to come and take them.
Danke Habune.
Panchi Hasati.
Haa Tuwunáagu Khatsu Ankhatatani. Achun Kuhas. Shtakat Yat Yanavi. Yís Kach City away a Kach Haa Tuwunáagu Khatsu Yayidat.
Prestige.
Yajit Wuduwati at Adade Yagach Satagri Yayitlakak Has at Uwu Ach Ish Has Yat Yanavi Away a Kach Ach Tuwunáagu Play Dahina you Dusak Yeshkafnik Ach Ish Has Away Yekdu Nik Utan You denk ayu kuyautu sejak. Aka away teachjenach setanen away you up te akach hint uskich. Where you kak has ije. Wananes dagaway you up. Cha an wana wuye de cut away de yatu wakut. Yasha yadade. Wananes away, Aya Uwagut with Eights Awa, Aka away, Ash Ewa Woods. Ude Saya Yanigut, Cha Achat Nakwana, Ye de Aya Yan Hagut. Hachuziko has away, with Eights Awa. Yuachta Kak has Ije, Say Akach Hint Hatuskich. Yakusti ach kayanach yati. Hagu chunk hagu aka away ash yik awaku you up. It's a watch away yik awaku you tam. Aka away yich ash kawana. Goose away achim satidi ye. Said take away a duwagut. You do talk has e.g. kade, you it's a wayik, uhu shawe, says a kach hint uski. Ajoe, juya yidate, yitin on kushtu wasa tis juice, tani, a kapanuch, ye yagik pati, yagik has. Ya deyik kin hastu yuch ʼatángi jawe waya yik hasu wahu yach b'skupati.
Prestige.
Ajawe tes Juan akach hint aus gidik ya yitlakak hastu wu.
Tuwunáagu Khatsu. I want to.
Kanachnik eish kalnik. It's a wa.
Kushitsigwa ataya kukede haushiyach. Apua ekwaji Atasu a hen Kanach Hedej Kanach Adej Katako and Edej. Where Dushka has Dushka Nege, where has where Sa has to G Wu Yik Hu they do Sa Kanach Adej. Yik Hu Weshkatnik Dahawa Yik Hu Tan has uwe hen ka Weshkatnik Apwaya Yidat just a cut kuku would do a G where kuke di would to a aim just a cut uhan where Tlingit where just a cut Tlingit would to a aim take G where Sa Yik Hu do a Sa Kanachadi.
Okay. Jeez.
Yik Hu. Who? F Who. Who? Where Te. Trade the hand Te.
Okay.
Where on Hasaku a web has our who where who.
Yeah, do we come has to cook yet away Nish Castoria Kaya who Yata Aya Adakawe or it's a one. Uski at Sani, one Kaninse Waka, Kingi Stiha in a Kawani. Ya take Sani, I get the way. Ya well, who Yata in
Jiegu Gang Japut Ade Ayasaya Kaya who who our who who K prefix so what
yeah one.
What Jiegu Gang Japut or what what just who where te
The I too Weha Yadu who Akahu Akawahu.
let me explain it with in English. The cut is to put it on something.
Yeah, what?
And I think uwahu is just making a pile of rocks rather than weighting something down.
Yeah, what?
So it seems to be more what he's, it's a little, probably almost the same word, but just a little bit.
Chishugu root the 2 day, awati would take his son. Ajaway
Okay.
You weighed him down. It'd be like if you had a bag and you filled it full of rocks.
Yeah.
Right. And
Instead
then you
of
would
just
say,
put it on like his body or something.
But if you had a bag
Give him
and
a-
you stacked rocks on top of it so it didn't blow away.
Akaya who,
Yeah,
yeah.
what? Jeez.
I really like saying Akakach Tuwunáagu Yís, like upon you.
Yeah, one.
Shungu KD, Kuik Owen, Kingay State, where Tlingit is Haa, where Kuik, do eat, you say what time, Kaji Kuik.
Yeah, what? Take a talk.
where storytelling da ushkanach ututa aka kingisti hain kautlani kyata da khatko ha it khawe khakhobus it pasake hain kakitlani Tlingit ʼatángi ten kapwa Shukhwa ya recording khoshige getashkas
Skashmi China where where Kanach tedi du ishas fati ingesti
achawe haina kautlin ya awe achin hasa kautlin
Zuwe hicht da Skashmi
hicht awur hiktash as the guns as it was the way hicht
Ka our June we hicht da hicht kwani da
as the club so kahwanish du shat away qanachti di tuwasaku ya qanachti dishkashniki awsaku aqa khat awuz ya yisuku ge gu sabwishkashni khat wal si Alaska tu kin gesti awsaku aqa awaq awuz ge du in kakashniki Dach ashkalniki ya hikchi awulik achtu asakuk akachshiti achwe hikch aya yes nachsati hasawahini Yuhan kiksati klubnach ati
Just how are you?
Ishkitan qanakhti qanakhati one qanin chayegu geng akakhaya has qushagao achtu asagur qakhshit we qanakhti di aida didat wush qachtu de hin ya shit de hin atu asagur one nakhsawe chayegu geng chaguki de awa hicht ya yeah.
Where kickstudy shaya dehani athas uwa at where hitch where do has to iqa ayat usu where hitch shaya dehani where on kathaku dahawa where hitch plane they are they yicked away with hitch with a canoe with high Katsu up to say Sanak Yados as to Shadi Honey. Wait a canoe. Yesu at with hitch where a dart has who at where Shah Dahawa Yewe for a Gugan Kashnik at Su where Shitka Kadat aware where Hitch a cow she where Park had to shut where has to yak yicked has to yak yicked has our ha a car where hitch has to ask where hitch cow she to eat has a ha a car where has to do out the hash where hitch but where shut a jeep our tea with hitch do G up with H, with do shut, what car do shut. Shay the hang Hasu, where Hitch Kuwu came a good, where gas ET over. Kachaya Haika Aya Usu Shay the hang, where Hitch. Achaya Kitsati, but Hasu hen, Chakut Yede, are they stop to clinic, yeah, where Skatnik, where Hanach Tebi, Klipnachadi, Ishitan, where
Gonna cheese. Where a clinical has stuck away. Dakka has to at who has our clear, where hitching. The clerk as Skatnik puts a tea, hitch that. Has to shut the honey away, cage. Ye do a saga. Yeah. Kelka in, yeah, Kusagal. You are it away to hold Konach out clinic. Konach away. Yeah, they are away. Okay, away to Hitty. Yeah, but just it's a hit. To Hitty a day will good. Yeah, Kone see you down Kusatan. Konach. Yeah, I was a teen ka away hicht. Wool a yicked away we hicht. Yeah, what ya cause a ya we wool a yicked away the Kasatan. Go hicht. They yachati we hearts. A god it's a hit a yidding good. Her away of saw. Kone a yakonach the hood. Our unique koa. What ye our G de our na ye. Oh, they had kokana, they had kokana. Ya kanach away with me. The hunt were good koa. Yís shawat. Ya, it's a hit day will good. Yeah, when do you will kacha ya a kawachu. Kaya will come. Hichayachat, Gonichish, Dishi, Inkak Konik Gusu, we goon, get catch connected to us goon. It ya what ik was a neer, it away, yet it's a hit a dachkaki good, a car we goon, aya kakis a teen, we shall kach. Yeah, wait, yeah. Well, just take a gig, kahu a wobunech, a dahu good. Where they ya a what shashaki de a what out again, aus a team, kunach kauka itch, way sha. Ach a what goon, ho away shuhwa aya a what a ye a. Ye away a hinakawanik.
like
Skookum Jim.
yeah, we're Skookum Jim. Echa, Chish, the coach left me.
What you guys want to do now? 30 minutes? 2 speeches? Reflection time?
Sure.
Save the other 2 for next week.
That's good because I don't want to miss the bus. Although I appreciate the ride.
Oh,
It's bus time.
couldn't go say
I should leave not a second after 8:30. I don't have to run out. And if we end earlier, that's good too. So.
So, looking back on the last 2 plus a little bit hours, 2.5, I don't know, whatever. Het kadene khatu. Just khatu. I don't count well, but I read well.
This is what I wanted to do. Sorry, I just had the realization that this is what I worked hard for. Even if, not to say that it's good and it's perfect. You people that are watching, and all of you think that we're trying to claim that this is what I worked really hard for, to try to just be in language.
Okay.
It feels good.
Yeah. We got awesome stuff to talk about in the language, and it's really fun. I wanted to do this a couple of years ago when we ran the class, and it was a good practice run, but I think this is getting stronger. And this is what, when I talked to the Dowenhowers about why they made these, this was why. Because
That's what it's for, man.
you look at language classes around the world, and at some point, you stop studying the language and you start just using the language. And so that's really.
And it's like, don't you want to get to a point where you're, get able to stay in language like plants or hands or other people, It's a good thing to do.
Yeah. Other thoughts?
I just had a question about, like, is there a different or better way that I could talk about, they're not literally saying it, but they're referencing it. It's not necessarily a metaphor.
Okay, like, give me an example, maybe?
Well,
Because that's the question itself was a little big.
Blew my mind.
I'll just say I didn't understand.
I'm transferring back into English.
Right, it's a transition.
Well, just with what I was writing about, like I was reading the notes on Yís, on his speech.
Mhm.
And I mean, the Downhowers kind of translated it as like a sad thing, but then there are all these other things that, I mean, if you were there, you probably would know all that history, you'd know all those things that were going on, but it's really helpful for me to have those notes.
Yeah.
So I was just saying, like, I kept saying, like, yay, or do in Kewatan, but I didn't actually say it.
Oh,
So
so
I'm
like
wondering
to
if that's
quote
like
somebody or
Is
something?
that like an English way that I'm thinking about it and saying, like, he was talking about this?
Right,
But in Tlingit, when you say that, are you like literally saying they said it?
because you're kind of just saying he talked when you say it.
Like,
Kewatan. But usually if and maybe there's different ways to do it, but I would say, Yeya waka, would be he or she said. And that seems to be a better setup for going into quotations. Or,
so many subtle shades of code phrasing, and I'm not even sure on it, but there's yeyao pa, yeyao sapa, yeyakaya ka. That seems to be more certain. This is a saying. They told the person to do this or something like that. Jesse Dalton use that. Yeyaya pa.
Yeah.
All these ones.
and those are getting into some and the subtleties, and it's worth studying because some of them, like, like he said it, is getting in. And then there's another one, which is like to instruct. Right? So there's instructing, there's telling, there's saying something specific, and then yuadaya would be, I think, to say a certain
Also,
way.
and also when you use a kawanik,
Mm-hmm.
And one that the elders use all the time that I try to use is kunach dak kawanik.
Yeah.
He explained was the thing. So that's a useful phrase. Kunach dak kawanik. I'll just I can write it.
Yeah.
They explained. You'll see it quoted in Elizabeth Diamond's book too. But it's not just inland. I hear George Davis and Goon George Davis use it all the time, for example.
Okay.
Kunach Dr. Howard.
So are you wondering like what verb you'd use? Because it's like, it's a sad thing, but they're like, he probably meant like this airplane crash, the bombardment of Cape. So he wasn't using a metaphor or a simile, or even saying it, but he was hinting at it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times you would do something, because like, it depends, like if you're in the pu'ik, if you're in some gathering, and you're not trying to make everybody sad. And you're also careful, because if you talk about something that happened before it's been taken care of, you're sort of opening that door for more bad things to happen. So it's a lot of the cultural context. And then, and there's other ways too, because you could say, Tiyak away, Inakawanik, has to atu dat kagwask. So then you could just sort of reference somebody said something, or you could just say a moment ago, and you'll see this a lot in the speeches, I think, from Kitchnach and Kashat, where they're going one right after another, and then they're referencing things that were just being said. And you'll see sometimes there where I think Tlingit tends to do less he said, she said type of stuff. And I think when we do that, we're sort of bringing our English thinking into it, because you'll see in a lot of the stories too, like suddenly we're in quotation marks, right? We're just in them, right? And sometimes there's a bit of a setup. But sometimes, and if you listen to the storytellers too, they'll switch a little bit, and you can just hear it in their voice that they're, but it depends, because there's, in some of the Raven stories, sometimes he's just saying it, but other times, especially when they say, and then he wished, and sometimes it's the storyteller's really singing that. Like that's what I noticed with the Frank Italiano stuff, is he sings those things when he gets into those Raven wishes. Okay.
But you were wondering about why he was referencing the sad thing or something like that?
No, just a better way that I could talk about it.
Sort of
So
like
that's
quoting
helpful.
someone, I think.
Yeah.
It's just, okay. I don't think that answered your question, but just a thought on that with the cake thing. That if people died, the part of the thing is there haven't been many in cake. I don't know if they're doing any now, but there definitely weren't in the 70s. And so it's a sensitive thing to do a thing like a big celebration with all kinds of dancing and stuff when someone's died, And so they probably had to, when you talked about, you lifted our faces up from the mud and all that stuff, is even though they just had to do it, but they had to acknowledge it somehow, Because normally, you want to do a party, you want to bring out your money, you want to let go of your grief,
Right. Yeah, so you've got in Lear's notes, Ye Ayaka is saying so. Ye Yawaka said so. Ye Ashyosaka said so to him. Aya Yawaka answered. Kauk Yawaka spoke sharply. It's really straight without, it's getting close to chewing somebody out probably. Let's see, said the wrong thing. Ashkadeya waka, scolded, right? Like words went on that person. There's this really neat
prefix we found, which is yawaka. Means like to go somewhere to tell somebody something. Like you can put it on a verb like ade. I don't know how to do that. I ran over there to tell them. Right? And so yawaka, to go somewhere and tell someone. Do ina yosaka promised. Tushich ashiltaka. Said something about himself. So there's all kinds of, and then daya waka is to say about something. So the da is built in there. So all these different subtleties. Adeka waka, to send somebody on an errand. Okay. What else?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome thinking about the last time I did this class compared to this one. Because I remember in that class, I did my first exercise trying to possess an object. Like trying to tack the suffix onto it. And just the distance from there is neat to think about.
Right. Yeah, that's really.
It's a metaphor for life.
Oh, how we've all grown.
Imagine there's no possessions.
John Lennon, yeah.
Wait, what was it?
Hey, Yosaka.
Yeah, aware.
Or
Is that KJC?
it's easy if you try.
Oh, yeah.
I remember last year getting clear and not understanding anything with the lawn stretches and quick at you would speak. And now it's just like slowly, I feel like I'm slowly unpacking everything.
Someone would probably say, okay. Right. It's been looking at too much Facebook.
I mean, it's fun. I really like the ways there's things that you can do as well when you're storytelling. Like you just throwing that in there now and then.
Yeah.
It just sort of softens your own assertions on the story. It's like, so they say, it's just sort of throwing these things in there. And then in the speeches too, just really looking at the things that I really admire about the speakers that we study is how thoughtful they are and careful with their words. And so that the words are uplifting, they're cautious not to talk about anything specifically sad or that hasn't been taken care of yet. They're addressing the right audience. They have amazing grammatical patterns. Like there was a couple of them that I was making notes on, like when they do this so there's that yanchagut is just walking. That place where I might die.
Yeah.
Right? And then that the type of verb that's built in there is that same one we see with Anashahash when he says it's something that a person might eat. And just getting those, when you would say that as opposed to it's just, you're just really what you're doing is you're saying we're going to make this language more important by using these different verb forms.
Haa Tuwunáagu Yís is also used by ʼatángi and Nazi Tlingit. So I think it's a phrase of someone who's going to die.
Right.
Haa Tuwunáagu Yís. That's all. And then so he was using Haa Tuwunáagu. So of course it was him, but I think that's a phrase that they have.
A place where someone goes to die, right?
They're going there to the death.
Right. And some of these, and I think I saw that somewhere else too. And so there's these forms that are used for these specific types of concepts where, and so what you're getting is you're getting the conjugation prefix, you're getting the qa mode, and you're getting the aerialis. Those things have to be built in there. And so what you'll see is when you learn how to put that verb form together, then you could surround it by ade ye or kesh ade ye, and then you've got there's no way something like kesh ade naqunayi ye. There's no way he or she could die. And so it's really neat to see how those things are put together and how the speakers use those with specific concepts. And those are probably concepts that really need to be elevated. They're showing this is the really important parts of the speech.
One that gets used a lot is there's nothing at all there. There's nothing that could happen at all. And so Matthew Lawrence has that in this book. There's nothing at all that we can do. It's again that humility, even though this stuff is extremely amazing and healing, it's still that humility of there's no way we do anything because this death is so hard to overcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
But aren't the examples of the elders a good thing? Aren't they? Okay, that's all I'll say.
And the English, like the introduction to this is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And
the book.
Yeah, if you have not read the introductions to Hashuka and Haa Tuwunáagu Yís, it's
read it 20 times.
Yeah, at some point I was thinking, and I knew I read it in here, but I had to look it up, but I think it's, I don't remember what it was in reference to, but just, it's really neat how the Haa Tuwunáagu Yís comes from the Amy Marvin Glacier Bay history story, and it's named this, and then it's just a nice connection.
Yeah. Time them together. I think in Coach.
Oh no, Ghost. Sorry, it's always a lot of thoughts with these things, which is it's good. It's really good. But the only comment I was going to make is that when we look at these speeches, we notice that unless they're very specific context, like Charlie Joseph explaining his lineage and why he's there and how he references the people, they're not talking about themselves,
right?
And so that's again another touchy subject. It's not just don't talk about yourself. It's not that, but it's like they have stuff to talk about. They have a specific thing that they're addressing, and so it's awkward in a Kui when folks don't know how to make these kind of addresses. And then they just go on and on about their personal life and how they feel and how they feel about themselves. Not I feel good seeing you. It's more like I feel really good just because I'm standing here. My mom would be so proud and all that kind of stuff that people say. We want to have patience for what people do, but it's like it deflates the energy if people are not really consciously trying to go into this way of thinking. So,
and these are pretty, they're pretty short, they're amazing, but they're not somebody standing up there for 30 minutes. It's a fairly short thing, so they know what they're doing.
And they're also using concepts like hyperbole, probably, where you're saying nothing will ever surpass this, right? And but you're saying this to your in-laws, because you were really trying to. You're like saying, look at what you've done, you know. And so and you do see this, and it's tough. It's tough today, because everybody's working hard for Pu'ik, and at the end of Pu'ik, the host might stand up and say, I want to thank all of my clan people for working hard. And you really should do that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can, it should be the opposites who stand up and say, we see how hard you've worked, and this is why nothing will surpass it. But maybe if we get back to more of that, then people will sort of understand that, you know, you don't have to compliment yourselves. Someone should be doing that for you. And even if they don't, it shouldn't be the driving force behind what you're doing. But you can see, especially like even looking at these 1899 speeches, the way they're reciprocating to each other. And it's just built into the language and into the culture.
One thing that Cyril George said was that we're not an emotional people, but when we're talking to our in-laws, boy, we let it all out. So, but not for ourselves, and that's what gets, it's challenging. So.
Okay.
And it's really neat, like, I think you said it with the unidentified speakers, it's from 1899, but it's so similar in structure.
Right.
How,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning where there are all these fairly short ones, and it's 133, they're kind of talking about it, how it's like, the speaker begins by establishing kinship connections, and then like deploys an image and develops it a little bit, and then turns that back onto themselves, and then might conclude some more kinship relations or something to bring right back into the situation. But a lot of them follow that pattern just exactly.
They talk about how the metaphor is the heart of the oratory. It's like for people to actually use that and to focus on uplifting words for the opposites, and then to tie in and also addressing the opposites, and then to tie in an alfiyah, that's the thing that's the whole ball of wax for the oratory, and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, because you could look at these things, and those speeches could be from 5 years ago. It could be,
Yeah,
dramatically.
it's pretty neat how close
it's really amazing.
Proud of my elders for proud of our elders for how they kept it up,
Right.
That pattern. Right. All we need to do is learn it.
Yeah, so I'll just recap a little bit. Gold Belts Heritage Foundation got a grant to have 2 totem poles made, a 50-foot pole that would go in sandy beach, probably elevated high enough that it would be hard to vandalize it. It's unfortunate you got to sort of think of those things. And around the base will be a story about how their village was burned. And another one will go up, a smaller pole will go up at the Gastineau School, talking about how that school was built upon the graves of Tlingit people and how other people were relocated. Just a lot of terrible stuff that happened in Douglas. I think it's stuff that's not really talked about. It seems like you could probably live here a long time and not really know that. I think they want to find someone who could tell that story in Tlingit and then have it in Tlingit in the translation. And then there'll be a display at the Juneau City Museum as well. So I was just at a meeting and it got pretty heavy, and then someone else, then they came in and they made this big announcement. It was really neat. I just happened to be there working on it. different projects. Oh, and then the other day, like, I said, tell you this. My daughter Ava, she said something like, I ate all my dinner. I was like, okay. She says, Dad, you're supposed to say, "Kekake." So I said, "Kekake." She's like, no. So I share that. All right, let's wrap a few minutes early. Like 2 hours can make you tired sometimes, but it energizes in the long run. I appreciate you guys' efforts. So we've got
to have a minute for you. In 3 weeks, the Sharing Our Knowledge Conference is at Centennial Hall. And this is a conference that was started by Ishmael's father, Andy, in 1993. I think there have been about 8 conferences since. Sitka, Juno, Sitka, I think I've been involved in the last 4 or 5. Dick Janhauer was part of the organizing committee, and Ish's uncle Jerry is the executive director. Peter Metcalf's involved. But the reason I wanted to pass these out and ask for all your help is that the Cyril George collection of photos is 75 years of his photos, and Jill Castine is helping digitize. We've got the 20s and 30s done so far, and then hope to get the 40s and 50s done before the conference. Cyril's clan nephew Bernard de Aces is coming, and he will be making a presentation Thursday the 30th in the afternoon with Jill. And did you get the email about how you're being invited to moderate the Dick Janhauer
Oh, wow, okay.
panel?
I didn't get the email, but I'll
You
do
should
it.
open that.
I'll do it.
Open that one. So we've got 75 years of photos, but I don't know how many we'll take down to Centennial Hall. The Hammond room is going to be the Cyril George room. And in order to make this work, for people to come and look at the photos and help identify them, we can't have them be completely unsupervised. So I'm hoping that some of Lance's students would be willing to sign up for 2-hour blocks during Thursday, October 29th, Friday, October 30th, and Saturday, the 31st. And so I wanted to give a bookmark to everybody and ask if there's anyone who knows their schedule well enough and who might be willing to sign up for any of those. The presentation is Thursday afternoon, so Jill is all taken up for that one. You've got.
I've got some here, just do you want us to read it?
Oh, that's fine. I have a couple copies of it, so.
Thanks. Okay. And we might need signups, volunteers for running cameras as well. So I'll let you guys
Oh, cool. Good, that's good. Awesome.
Yeah,
Geez. Yeah, I gotta run the
Mr.
bus.
Bus,
Yeah, the bus.
they don't come early, I hope.
Yeah, sometimes I do, so that's why I gotta run. All right, good, geez.
Yeah.